right, we are going to be restarting this lightweight super stock tractor class. So Kevin Essery will be the new test puller on after the sled reset. He will have the option of taking that puller, turning it down. So here we go, Kevin Essery out of Milledgeville, Tennessee, the case tractor known as Evening Thunder. All right, folks, what about that? A lot of horsepower under the hood of that case tractor known as Evening Thunder. Kevin Essery with a nice run here. Strong run for the on-the-edge tractor out of Bradyville, Tennessee. Martin drifted over toward that right-hand side of the track, got on those brakes, drifted back over to the center of the track, but a nice run for Martin Daniels. .04 for Martin Daniel, 290.04. All right, coming up next, we have another alcohol-powered machine. This one comes to us out of Athens, Alabama. Clay Haney behind the wheel. The Haney family has been on the Mid-South pulling circuit for many, many years. They campaigned a diesel-powered D21 Alice for many years, known as Cujo. When they made the decision to change over to alcohol pulling, they wanted to keep this name tradition as well. So for that very reason, this one is called Cujo Unleashed. All right, Clay Haney with a nice run here in our lightweight super class. This latest John Deere tractor has yet to be named, but is a strong running tractor as well. Has gone through some recent changes, has a much different tone, even backing up to the sled than it used to have. A lot of horsepower increase for this change. Looking forward to seeing this run. So once again, unnamed John Deere tractor coming up next is going to be Cody Haney behind the wheel. He comes to us out of Athens, Alabama. All right, not exactly sure what happened. Saw a little bit of a flash up under the hood here. We'll try to see what we can find out and pass that along. All right, coming up next, also an alcohol-powered John Deere. This one comes to us out of Mount Hermon, Kentucky. Randy Payne behind the wheel. This one is called Guesswork. All right, something not quite right under the hood of that Guesswork John Deere. Never did really clean out like Randy is known for doing. 237.10 is going to be his distance. 237.10 for the Guesswork John Deere. All right, folks, next up we have another alcohol-powered John Deere, but this time we have a young lady behind the wheel. Monica Shaw is going to be doing the driving tonight. She and her dad, Larry Gorham, have been on the Mid-South Pulling Trail for many, many years, and they have been in many, many classes throughout those years. They have had a modified pulling tractor, two-wheel drive truck, but for the last quite a few years they have settled into the lightweight super stock tractor division. Larry has been known to drive this tractor, but primarily Monica has done the driving duties over the years. And this one is appropriately called Beauty and the Beast. .39 for Monica Shaw, 270.39. All right, look like Kenneth has elected to go over toward the kind of the left middle of the track, so we'll see if there's more traction over there for him. Last run of this lightweight super stock tractor division. Our leader is still sitting out 3:10.78, Mr. Kevin Essery, so we'll see if our last run of the night can come back. Kenneth Hale out of Tullahoma, Tennessee, the diesel-powered International Night Trouble 3. All right, rode that white line down the track, made a nice run here to wind up our lightweight super stock tractor class. He was heading toward that leader, came up just a little bit short. 292.43, I believe that's going to leave him in the runner-up spot right here. So a nice run to wind up our class. 292.43 for Kenneth Hale. All right, folks, once again, test puller for our super modified two-wheel drive truck class is Ethan Foster, the first of a two-truck operation out of the McMinnville, Tennessee, Woodbury, Tennessee area. S10 Chevrolet, he calls this one crosswired. Napping in Hillsboro, I doubt they are anymore. Ethan Foster with a nice run to start our super modified two-wheel drive truck class. 285.89 for Ethan Foster, 285.89. All right, looks like Mark has elected to go pretty much down the center of the track, maybe on the right-hand side of the center just a little bit. He is the new test puller after the sled reset. Mark comes to us out of Woodbury, Tennessee. The Ford Ranger calls this one Trimmer. All right, folks, here we go. Brad Farrell comes to us out of Mulberry, Tennessee, driving the Chevrolet truck. He calls this one Old School. what do you think about that run right there? He made that sled made a nice run down that track. Not always about the horsepower, but being able to put the horsepower down and getting the good bike. So nice run to which to start our two-wheel drive truck class. Just a little bit short. 309.58 for Jonathan Payne. Folks, what about that run right there? We're looking at a new leader. Alright folks, our leader was Brad Farrell at 311.54, new leader, and listen to this distance. 348.11, 348.11, by far the longest run of the night for Keith Sladen out of Clinton, Kentucky. What about that run right there? Alright folks, pay close attention right here. We talk about truck and tractor pulling being a game of inches, and it absolutely is. Keith Sladen sitting out front, 348.11. The distance for Evan Anderson, 348.76. You're looking at a new leader. 348.76 for the Playin Dirty Chevrolet. All right, here we go. TJ Wallace out of Lester, Alabama, driving the S10 Chevrolet, calls this one child's play. TJ Wallace with a nice run, drifted over toward the center of the track just a little bit, and may have cost himself a little bit of a distance. So nice run for the young man out of Lester, Alabama. Next up, the second of a two-truck operation out of the McMinnville, Tennessee, Woodbury, Tennessee area. Wesley Foster coming up next. Wesley is an FFA vocational agriculture teacher by trade over in Cannon County. Second generation driver as well. He and his brother Ethan Foster, you saw him as our original test puller for this class. Also works with the family row crop operation, the Foster Farms row crop operation. Chevrolet Colorado truck calls this one barbed wire. wire. 330.93 for Wesley Foster, 330.93. .09 for Danny Lush, 328.09. All right, here we go. Caitlin Norman out of Athens, Alabama, driving the Packard two-wheel drive called the Untouchable. All right, what about that, folks? Caitlin Norman with a strong run. A little bit of a rough ride to the end on the big end of the track. 328.06 for Caitlin Norman. 328.06. All right, once again, Ethan Foster out of McMinnville, Tennessee, the S10 Chevrolet known as Crosswired. All right, folks, picked that front end up, had quite a bit of ground speed going down the track. A nice run for Ethan Foster. 326.73 for Ethan Foster, 326.73. Sixth place, Caitlin Norman out of Athens, Alabama, driving the Untouchable, 328.06. Fifth place, Danny Lusk out of Altamont, Tennessee, driving the Tennessee Wild Child T-Bucket, 328.09. Fourth place, Wesley Foster out of Woodbury, Tennessee, driving the Barbed Wire Chevrolet Colorado, 330.93. Your top three, Mark Ford out of Woodbury, Tennessee, driving the Trimmer Ford Ranger, 331.14. Runner-up, Keith Sladen out of Clinton, Kentucky, the American-made Ford, 348.11. And our winner, very close finisher with 1 and 2, Evan Anderson out of Adams, Tennessee, the Playing Dirty Chevrolet, 348.76. Folks, once again, if you would, round of applause for all of our super modified two-wheel drive truck competitors. All right, looks like Mr. Nolan has elected to go over on the left-hand side of the track as well. No matter the situation, this gentleman always has a smile on his face. So the AGCO tractor known as Cracker Jack that comes to us out of Atwood, Tennessee. Next up is going to be Mr. Nolan Robinson. Mr. Nolan Robinson with a nice run. New leader for Mr. Nolan Robinson, 293.89. He's on the top spot right now. All right, Jeffrey Dykes picked those front wheels up, transferred all the horsepower to those rear wheels, and made a nice run in our light limited super stock division. Jeff was heading toward that leader spot, but came up just a little bit short of the 304 and change put out by Robert Reeves. 301.39 is going to be his distance. 301.39 for Jeff Dykes. All right, happy birthday, Evan McDaniel, our next competitor, 20 years old today, I understand. Comes to us out of Florence, Alabama. Diesel-powered AGCO calls this tractor Constant Sorrow. All right, Evan McDaniel with a nice run, celebrating his birthday today. .04 for Evan McDaniel, 294.04. All right, Alice Chalmers, folks, got a good one coming up next. D21 Alice out of Readable, Tennessee. Bruce Baird behind the wheel tonight. This one is called the Ghost Rider. All right, once again, folks, each driver does have two measured attempts. Bruce was not satisfied with how that tractor came off the line, so got out of the throttle, so he's going to back up and do it again. However, whatever he gets this time will be his official measured distance. All right, Bruce Bear with a nice run with the Ghost Rider D21 Alice. .281.96 for Bruce Bear. 281.96. Alcohol Powered International coming to us out of Glasgow, Kentucky. It's going to be Mr. Larry Anderson. He calls his tractor the Grease Monkey. All right, Larry Anderson with a nice run. The international tractor out of Glasgow, Kentucky, known as the Grease Monkey. .297.26 for Mr. Larry Anderson. 297.26. All right, Levi Ogle with a strong run in the Little Screamer out of Valora, Tennessee. .284.94 for Levi Ogle. 284.94. All right, folks, Chuck Dye with a nice run. The tractor out of Science Hill, Kentucky, called Under the Influence. .294.50 for Chuck Dye. 294.50. All right, next up, Diesel Powered International coming to us out of Scottsville, Kentucky. It's going to be Richard Taylor. His tractor is called Family Tradition. All right, folks, Richard Taylor with a strong pass on the tractor out of Scottsville, Kentucky, known as Family Tradition. All right, folks, once again, we've got another close one. Robert Reeves sitting out front, 304.35 in the high gear obsession. Distance for Richard Taylor, 305.61. You're looking at a new leader once again, 305.61 for Richard Taylor. All right, once again, Bill Bowman, our next competitor, the John Deere alcohol powered tractor out of Morrison, Tennessee. He calls this one the Deere Gone Wild. All right, Bill Bowman with a strong pass. The John Deere tractor known as Deere Gone Wild out of Morrison, Tennessee. .81 for Bill Bowman. 280.81. All right, not exactly sure what happened. Steve was on a nice run right there. Looks like Steve is okay. That's the main thing. 180.25. We need a tow tractor. 180.25 is going to be his distance. Steve, you good? Okay, that's the main thing right there. He's got his helmet off now, folks. Give Steve Dye a round of applause. He and his brother came all the way from Science Hill, Kentucky to help us put on a show. 12th place, Steve Dye out of Science Hill, Kentucky in the Fence Row Fugitive, 180.25. 11th place, Jeff Brown out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee in the Redneck Ride, 279.50. He was our original test puller. Bill Bowman, 10th place tonight out of Morrison, Tennessee, the Deere Gone Wild, 280.81. 9th place, Bruce Baird out of Reederville, Tennessee, the D21 Alice known as the Ghost Rider, 281.96. 8th place, Levi Ogle out of Aurora, Tennessee in the Little Screamer, 284.94. 7th place, Nolan Robinson out of Atwood, Tennessee, driving the Ag Code known as Cracker Jack, 293.89. 6th place, Evan McDaniel. Happy birthday, Evan, out of Florence, Alabama, the Constant Sorrow Ag Code, 294.04. Your top 5, Chuck Dye out of Science Hill, Kentucky in the Under the Influence International, 294.50. 4th place, Larry Anderson out of Glasgow, Kentucky, driving the Grease Monkey, 297.26. Jeffrey Dykes, 3rd place tonight out of McMinnville, Tennessee in the Alcoholic Beard, 301.39. Runner-up, Robert Reeves, sat in that top spot for a long time out of Rockville, Tennessee, the High Gear Obsession, 304.35. And our winner, Richard Taylor out of Scottsville, Kentucky in the Diesel Powered International known as Family Tradition, 305.61. Folks, once again, if you would, a round of applause for all of our competitors in our light limited super stock tractor division.